Hey guys, what's up? This is Boy16, and today I'm doing another video on my super ultra modified Razor Pocket Mod, Bella, or whatever the heck it is, Razor Pocket Mod. But right now I just call it the Crotch Rocket because this thing is absolutely amazing. But the reason I'm doing a video on it now is because I have done a couple of mods to it since the last time I showed it on video. So first of them is the headlight that I had in here. Before, it didn't have a lens on it, so it kind of spit the light all over the place. And now it's kind of focusing it more direct. It's like a car headlight. Literally, this thing, the light on it is amazingly powerful. Like, it doesn't look like it in daylight, but that thing will blind you at night. And of course, it has the rear tail light. Oops, sorry if I flipped the camera around. Of course, it has the rear tail light in the back when you're driving. And I fixed my brake light because that went out, or the converter for it went out. So I had lost my brake lights. So my running light would work, but my brake light wouldn't. But now my brake light works fully. So another modification I've done to it, which is really, quite honestly, the one that's improved it the most when it comes to weather riding, like in this crap weather that we have right now, is this mud flap I made out of a piece of, I don't know what it is, but it's like, whenever we get at work, when we get these Kawasaki mules that we build, they come with pads like this to protect them from getting scratched, but this makes an amazing mud flap. I've gone mudding with the scooter, and mud was everywhere on the scooter except for on my back and on the back of this thing. The front was drenched in mud. The rear was underneath, was caked in mud and all that stuff, and it was just a mud fest, except for the rear end, which was completely clean because I had this mud flap on here. I think Razor, they should have made this piece stick out more. They should have made it go down more, so it gave you a bit more of a mud flap, or protected you from mud. You can see I just washed this thing and there's mud in it already from just how muddy our road gets. But the biggest mod I've done is the motor. So this is the original 250 watt motor, I believe, that these Razor scooters come with, or the Pocket Mods come with stock, which is absolutely pitiful. It's pathetic that they come with these crappy little motors. I mean, they're okay for someone who weighs 80 pounds, but for someone who weighs above that, they are pathetically weak. These motors have no torque, and they're inefficient too, because once you get above 80 pounds and you're trying to run this motor, it just draws amps. It doesn't give you any more power, it just draws amps from the battery, and it's a guzzler of power. So this is the motor I took out of it. So the motor that's in it now is a Razor MX650 motor. So this is a 600 watt motor, or 650 watt motor, I'm not exactly sure, but this motor takes up the whole space of that motor compartment. It sticks out more like this. It sticks out over the rail, or the frame rail there. And if anyone's had a Razor MX650, you know that they don't have a mounting plate like this. So I had one before, that 450 watt motor that I had for this thing, which was a speed motor, which allowed this thing to go up to 27 miles an hour. That motor conked out on me and really just crapped itself and stopped providing me power and speed because the magnet broke loose in it and all that stuff. I took it apart and took it out. But that motor, I had to weld one of these little plates on the bottom of it, so that way it would be able to mount up inside of there. So I did the same. I took that plate off that motor, welded it onto this one, and then put a couple of spacers underneath here, which are just washers, but they do the same thing as spacers. Put some spacers in there, so now the motor is able to sit in there just above, like almost just about the thickness of a piece of paper, really. Maybe even. It might even be rubbing on that rail, but it's not to the point where it's going to do any damage to the plate or anything like that. But you need to put spacers in there in order to accommodate it, because this motor sticks out far enough to the point where it hits that. But I like the fact that it fits in there the way it does, because it fits in there to the point where it doesn't look hideous. Like having a motor jetting out the side of the scooter or anything like that. So it still keeps the sleekness of the scooter, even though this thing looks like crap because the paint's coming off of it and the pink is showing from underneath and all that crap, but I don't give a crap. This is one of those cars that you see that people just, they upgrade the crap out of the engine and the suspension and all that stuff, and the car looks like crap, but drives like an absolute beast. And that's pretty much what this is in electric scooter form. Of course, it still has its original, or the battery I installed in there, which was a 12 amp hour, 36 volt lithium battery that I built. So it has that still in it, but the biggest upgrade is this motor. And the reason I call it a massive upgrade is because this thing can do burnouts now. Like, if anyone's had the if anyone has the original, they know you have to hold the rear end up to be able to do a burnout. This thing, you can just literally put it down and then get on it. And I'll show you. If I hold it, it'll do a burnout. It'll burn out, which is absolutely awesome. And that's just with the rear wheel drive. I don't even have to use my front wheel drive to be able to get the power that I did with both motors before. So, massive increase, over twice the amount of power that little motor has with this new motor installed. The only thing I don't like about having this new motor in it is because the resistance when you move backward, because of the way it works, you just have resistance, and it's really annoying. So you can't really coast backwards. I mean, which is kind of like, it's good and bad, because you can kind of, if you're on a hill or something like that and you're just trying to back out of a spot or back out and just go forward, you don't just start rolling back uncontrollably, even though you have a brake and all that stuff. But this thing is absolutely awesome. Now, let's see if I can try to take you on a little bit of a ride, although it's raining right now. I'm not sure if I can do it, but we'll give it a shot. But it's a little bit noisier. Here, don't gut. So it has a lot more get up and go. I'll demonstrate like how long it took for it to get up to speed with the original battery, or not the original battery, but the original motor. So this is about how long it took for it to get up to speed. But now with this new motor, it'll burn out. Thing is, this goes faster with this motor, even though this is a 36 volt rated motor, so there's no overspeed capability. The torque is just awesome. It's like literally, you tap it and it'll go. So, but of course I have my front wheel drive, which is still fully functional. I still have my battery gauge for that. So I have front wheel drive for economy and then rear wheel drive for power. So I think the two motors together, they're about the same power output capability because of the gear ratio of the hub motor in there, because it is a geared hub motor, so it has a bit more torque than a gearless hub motor. So I'm thinking that motor is a 350 watt nominal, or maybe 400 watt nominal, but with that gearing upgrade and all that stuff, it gets you a little bit more. It gets you up to about 600 watts of actual usable power from it. So, but anyway, I wanted to do a video on this just to show you guys, because this is absolutely awesome. I'll try to see if I can get a helmet cam or something where I can take you guys on a bit of a riding video, because I can go off-road with this thing like there's no tomorrow now, with dual motors, lithium-ion battery, lights. Pretty much this thing is... Now there's absolutely nothing stock about this scooter. Nothing is stock. Motor's a 600 watt motor from a MX650, controller MX650, throttle MX650, front wheel from a Jetson Breeze electric scooter. Lithium battery that I built myself. Yeah, nothing on this thing is stock. It doesn't even have the stock charging port anymore, because I removed that and used the MX650 port, which is a little bit more heavy duty and is a little bit more capable of handling a little bit more abuse. This stupid cover doesn't fit on there anymore. Break that off eventually, but literally this thing is not stock at all anymore. And I still have my onboard USB charging because of my new, whoop, get that off of there. Because of, whoop, turn off my front wheel drive so that way I don't have it take off on me when the seat's down. Now I have a proper 12-volt cigarette port in here to be able to run my tail lights instead of just having it wired into a converter, because the converter it had went out, so I just decided to put this in there and then have an actual car cigarette port adapter that I can use for my tail lights, and of course I can power some other devices off of the auxiliary battery back here for the 12 volts system, which is all that crap, that the lights and all that stuff. So, but anyway, wanted to show you guys this video because this thing is an absolute beast of a scooter. It's awesome. It weighs more than what it did when it was original, but that's because it's got dual motors, a 600-watt motor in the back, an onboard auxiliary battery for the lights, of course the lights themselves, 2 controllers that are bigger than the original, mud flap, and all that stuff. So really this thing is just so tricked out with so much stuff. It weighs a lot more than what it did originally. Like, I can still lift this up, but it's not light like you would think it would be. I mean, it weighs a decent amount. So, but this thing has so much power. But anyway, wanted to share this with you guys, show you what I've done with it so far. Maybe the next time I do a video of it, I'll have it I'll repaint it, but I'm not really I don't really care to repaint it because personally I don't care. It kind of, to me, it looks kind of cool looking all beat up like this, because the thing is, it's like those cars. But anyway, just wanted to do a video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Stay cool, YouTube. Bye.